the Prophet of Allah has brought. So the necessity of ijaz is to trust on him. The Prophet was in a society with people who lived with him. They knew him. So for 40 years he has been among those people. They knew him. He was a person, trustworthy one, a kind one, a generous one. He was a man who had these moral traits of character even before being a prophet, officially a prophet. So people knew him by these characters. You know, he was one of the members of, there was a treaty, Helful Fuzul, and once a person who entered Mecca, a stranger, and some people oppressed him, taking his property. He was a merchant selling things. They took his property, didn't give it back, didn't give him money, so he was very upset and disappointed. So a group of men of generosity, men of braveness, men of what we call it manhood, they came together. They had an agreement that if any stranger came here and he was not related to any tribe, and if others began to oppress him, they will defend him. And this was known as the Helful Fuzul, and the Prophet was one of them. And this was something that even the Prophet after Islam was proud of, that we had such a thing. To even before the Islam, we used to defend the weak people. So this is the Prophet with such characteristics. So there were people who, when the Prophet came with the message and uttered that I am a Prophet of Allah, they accepted from him. He was a man that they didn't hear any lie from him in these all 40 years. Such a person who has never lied us cannot lie now. So those poor people, those slaves who were suffering in the society, when they heard the message, they were not scholars to analyze his miracle. Even though the Prophet brought many miracles to them, even beside Quran, there were many miracles from the Prophet, which has been narrated in both Shia Sunni sources. Like, for example, once a person had a lizard in his hand and he said, if this lizard utters that you are a prophet, I will accept. The Prophet said, really this? He said, yes. The Prophet of Allah referred to it and said, confess. And that lizard confessed in a way that others hear. And that guy said, oh, you are a great magician. What a great magician you are. So you see, there were things like this, happened a lot. But these were few cases that only those people who were there, they could believe in it, they could accept it. So for those people who knew the Prophet, it was easier to accept his prophethood. But later, for others, for the coming generations, for those Muslims who didn't see such miracles from the Prophet, it was very important, it's urgent to have a proof that I can rely on your claim. How can I make sure that you are a true prophet? So you need a miracle. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the story of Musa alayhi salam in Surah Al-Shu'ara, when Musa went to Pharaoh and called him to the right path, Pharaoh said, قَالَ لَإِنِ اتَّخَذْتَ إِلَهًا غَيْرِي لَأَجْعَلَنَّكَ مِنَ الْمَسْجُونِينَ. If you choose a God other than me, I will imprison you. قَالَ أَفَلَوْ جِئْتُكَ بِشَيْءٍ مُبِينٍ. Even if I come to you with a manifest sign, with a manifest proof, mubin means, it has two meanings. It means big, and also it means something which is very vivid and clear. Musa said, even if I bring you some sign which is very clear, that supports my claim of prophethood? قال فأت به إن كنت من الصادقين. If you are truthful, then bring it. So this is the necessity for miracle. When there are those who reject your prophethood, then you have to bring something. فرعون said فأت به إن كنت من الصادقين. فألقى عصاه فإذا هي ثعبان مبين. He put his stick and he turned into a giant serpent. ونزع يده فإذا هي بيضاء للناظرين. And also he put his hand under his arm, then when he brought it back, it was radiant and shining. These two miracles Musa alayhi salam brought there. So why we need miracles? It is because there are people who reject you, who will reject your claim of prophethood. So you have to have proofs for that. Haji Nasiruddin Tusi in his book Sharh Tajreed al-I'tiqad, page 275, he says, when he talks about Mu'jiza, he says, طريق معرفة صدقه. طريق معرفة صدقه. It's something, it's a proof, it's a way that you can find out his, means the prophet's, truthfulness. طريق معرفة صدقه ظهور المعجزة على يده. It is the miracle that he brings. So we need miracles. Miracles are not going to teach us religion, but miracles are going to teach us the trustworthiness and truthfulness of a man who has brought them. So, and this is one discussion about the necessity to get into such discussion. Another point is the literature review. From what time such a thing as Ijazul Quran, Quran being a mu'jiza, being a miracle, has been uttered? When we look at Quran, we see that in different verses, Quran itself refers to this reality, that nobody can bring such a thing. What is the proof for the Prophet's claim? The proof is that nobody can bring such a thing. For example, in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 23, Allah says, وَإِن كُنْتُمْ فِي رَيْبٍ مِّمَّا نَزَّلْنَا عَلَىٰ عَبْدِنَا فَأْتُوا بِسُورَةٍ مِّن مِثْلِهِ. Not only you, وَادْعُوا شُهَدَاءَكُم مِّن دُونِ اللَّهِ. Anyone who can be there without except Allah, come to such a challenge. In kuntum sadiqin. If you have doubt, in kuntum fi raybin, if you have doubt about the truthfulness of the Prophet and what we have revealed to you, bring something like that. Bring a chapter like one surah of Quran. Wad'u shuhada'akum. Anyone who can be a support to you, bring them, not only one, two people, tens of thousands of people gathered together, make a chapter like Quran in kuntum sadiqin. If you are truthful that this is not the word of Allah. For example, in Surah Yunus, chapter 10, verse 38, Allah says, أَمْ يَقُولُونَ افْتَرَاهُ. These people claim that this is not a same word of Allah. فَأْتُوا بِسُورَةٍ مِثْلِهِ وَادْعُوا مَنِ اسْتَطَعْتُمْ مِنْ دُونِ اللَّهِ إِن كُنْتُمْ صَادِقِينَ. Again, gather all you people who can help you, can give help to you, gather together and bring a chapter like Quran. One chapter of the Quran.